Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Emily and today I have another video for you, and that is series that I would really like to finish this year. Will I finish all of them? Probably not, but these are ones that I have started and I think I really need to either reread the first book and continue on or just continue on. So let's get right into it. The first one I have is, I'm holding up the second book because I can't be bothered to get the first book. But that is for Ship of Magic, and I'm holding up Mad Ship. This is the second book. I started Ship of Magic in January, and I read that, I believe it was in January. Or maybe it was February. Maybe I finished it in February. I can't remember, but I would definitely like to get through this one and then the third one and finish this trilogy in the realm of the Outerling, if you will. Will I? Most likely, as long as I continue trugging along. I believe I can finish this trilogy this year, no problem. I've been having a really good time reading Robin Hobb books. So this series that I'm about to show you, I read the first one, absolutely loved it, and then I don't think that any of the other books were out at the time or I just didn't have them. And then I never continued on it. It's been quite a few years. And that is The Bone Witch by Rain Chupeco. I loved this first book. This is probably one of my favorite covers of all time. Stunning, as are the rest of the covers. I really enjoyed this. This has some witches, and I think it has like a little bit of like necromancy, if I remember correctly. But I really enjoyed this. It wasn't like super action-packed or anything. It was just like a nice cozy read, honestly, to just sink into. So I definitely would like to reread this one and get to the other two so that I can finish this wonderful, beautiful trilogy. This next one is kind of in the same boat with the other one. The other books weren't out yet. I read the first one. Now all three are out, and I definitely need to read the first one to get to the rest of them. And that is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahern. I really enjoyed following Lou and Reed's story. I thought that they were fun characters to follow, and I definitely want to reread this to get to the other ones and see what happens between these two characters. So next I have novella series. I do have the whole bind up on my Kindle, but I'm gonna hold up this just for saving me time of having to put the picture here, and that is Binti by Nnedi Okorafor. I did read this first novella a while ago, and I never continued on, but I definitely enjoyed reading this. It was so different from anything I had been reading at the time, and I definitely want to reread this and get to the other ones. I know I can finish this series out this year. So the next one, I only have the last book to read, and as long as I can read it soon, I shouldn't have to reread any of the other books. And that is for Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I love this space group of ragtag people you wouldn't normally see put together, but they work. It's like found family and action-packed, and I absolutely love this. So this next one, I read the first two books, and then I never got to the last two books. And I definitely think I might need to reread the first two to get to the last ones to have a better lasting impression on this series. And that is An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. I really enjoyed the first and second one, and then I just never got to the last two. I think I had some other things and readathons were going on, and then I just never finished, and this was like last summer. So definitely gonna have to reread these to get to the last two, but these were really quick, and I listened to the audiobook for them, and they were really good, so, you know, shouldn't take me that long to finish this series this year. Another book that I have not picked up for a long time, and the series is built up of 3 duology companions, but I definitely need to reread all of them, and that is The Program by Suzanne Young. This is actually the book that helped me find BookTube and started me on this whole journey of reading so much more, and I think this will always be a favorite, but it definitely needs a reread. I think I'm just afraid that it's not going to be as good as I think it is, but fingers crossed that it is just as good as the first 4 times I read it. So next I have one that I just read the first book in February, and that is Crave by Tracy Wolff. I do know, based on what I've seen, that all the books should be out by, I think, maybe November, maybe it's late summer, I don't know, but they should all be out this year, and I really want to maybe reread Crave and then like binge them all maybe at some point later this year, and I'm definitely in love with this series. It was definitely a quick, fun read, and it's got all kinds of paranormal creatures and stuff in it, and a school setting, and winter, and I just loved it. Next, I have a duology. I read the first book last October, and I never got to the second one, and that is These Witches Don't Burn. I need to read the second one. I don't think I need to reread the first one. I think I remember pretty much what happens for the most part. So all I really need to do is just read the second one. So if I can finish out this duology, that would be great. Next, I have a series. I read the first two, didn't complete the last two, and that is Born Sinner. I really enjoyed the first two. I think at the time I was just reading way too much romance, so I never continued. And I think I might have been a small part of me that was afraid to see what was going to happen. But I definitely need to reread the first two to get to the last two. So this series is definitely highly up on my radar this year to finish. Okay, another romance series. I read the first two and then never got to the last one. Again, I think it was along the lines of I had been reading so much romance that I just got sick of it and didn't finish a bunch of series at one point. And that is Bad Saint. I really enjoyed this story. It was definitely dark and gritty, and I just loved it. And now I can only remember for the most part what the first book was about, so I may need to like skim read that to refresh my mind and then reread the second book to get to the third book. But I would like to finish that series this year. And finally, the last one that I could really think of, and this is probably the one I am least likely to finish, but I want to put it on here so that I can remind myself that I would like to continue on, and that is Outlander. I read the first book, I think it was last year, maybe it was the year before that. I loved the show and I loved the book, but they're so daunting and so huge, and I just never continued on. So I'd like to at least reread Outlander and get maybe the next two read for this year. Will it happen? Probably not, but I just want to remind myself that it's there and that I loved it and that I should continue on with it. But okay, that was all the series that I could think of that I would really like to finish this year. I know that I'll probably have more next year because I'm hoping to start a bunch of adult fantasy series this year. So this list will potentially grow, but right now these are the ones that I really want to focus on so that I can get them out of the way and finish them and clear some series off my list that I really need to finish. So like this video if you like it, comment down below, let me know how many series are still ongoing on your TBR, and subscribe if you want to. I would greatly appreciate it, and until next time, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!